Hi everybody, Dan Hassevoort here for Church Tackle. Yeah, we've had a lot of guys ask us for some instructional videos on how to use the boards, so we're just going to take a quick second, run through Church's product line, and we're going to go out in the water and set them up for you. To start off, I want to show you the TX6. This is Church's mini planer. This board is going to be designed for fishing shallow water and shallow weed beds. You know, any situation where you got real light weights like 1/4 ounce bullet weights, 1/2 ounce weights, even small crankbaits, where you're fishing shallow water or you want those baits just above the weeds. This is the board you want for that. It doesn't put a lot of wake in the water. It's real stealthy and small. This is the board for that. From there we move into the TX12. Same situation with the 6, same areas. It's just a little bit bigger. You can put up a little more weight on it. You can get into 1 ounce weights with this. Some bigger mid-sized crankbaits. Maybe where you're not only are you targeting that shallow weed bed, but you're maybe even going a little bit deeper off the drop, and now you want your baits to get a little down there a little bit further. But in between board from the mini to the popular walleye boards I'm about to show you now definitely has its place. From there, we're going to move on to our top walleye boards. We got the walleye board, which has been out for forever, and we got the TX22. It's been out for a few years as well. Both these boards are absolutely awesome. They work very, very well for just about any circumstance. They'll carry heavy loads, they'll carry light loads. Both boards are adjustable, and what I mean by that is if you look at the walleye board, the weight is slotted. There's actually a scale on the side, so you can loosen that weight up and move it around depending on how big a load you're carrying behind it. If you're running a big crankbait, or you're running a lot of lead core, you're running real heavy inline drop weights or something like that. The goal is you want to calibrate the board with the weight to try to keep the front up as high as possible and keep it real buoyant. You know, you don't want that front to start going like this or the board's going to want to dive, so make sure you understand adjustment. Now the TX22 is my favorite board. This is the one I run, but a lot of people got to remember this board needs to be adjusted too a lot of times. You buy the board out of the package, it's kind of set up to sit real low in the water and make a nice cut to the side and plane out nice and tight. But for me, being in the Great Lakes, I'm fishing a lot of rough water, a lot of waves. You don't really want it set up that way. Then you want to make one easy adjustment, and that's simply the screw right here that holds your weight in. Just take it out, take the weight, slide it all the way to the back of the board like this one is right here. Take a little drill, put a little pilot hole in that lead, run your screw back in there, done. And that would dramatically change the way this board runs. The nose will come up nice and high, it will plane out real fast, and then most importantly, it will ride the waves very easy and will not dive on you. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know that when they buy a 22, and they think, boy, it's a hard pulling board. It's really not. It's just not been adjusted. So just make sure you make that adjustment. And I tell you what, this is my favorite board. By adjusting that weight for big water fishing like I'm into, this is the best board on the market. It will plane and ride unbelievably for you. But keep that in mind. This board does need to be adjusted. Now, if you're running smaller inland lakes, calmer waters, you may just leave it right where it's at. And then it's going to sit nice and flat in the water, and it stays buoyant. Even when you stop, the 22 floats in the water just like this. Now when you make that rough water adjustment, it's going to float a little bit like this, but it's not going to fall over flat like all the other boards on the market do. So that's what's nice. It's a balanced board. It's adjustable. You can either adjust it, run high in the water and fast, or you can keep it low. And by keeping it low, it just kind of keeps a lower profile in the water for maybe some of them smaller lakes. So whichever situation you're in, just make sure you make the proper adjustment. Now from there, this isn't really a walleye board, but I want to show it to you guys anyway. This is the TX44. This is the salmon board. You can run a tremendous amount of weight behind this board. 300 copper, 10 colors of lead core, 15 colors of lead core, big heavy drop weights, and it's designed for salmon fishing. It would just carry a tremendous amount of weight. It's just a great, great board for that. So that being said, guys, all right guys, before we go out to the water and show you how we set these up, I want to show you the stern planer. This is something new this year. It's how we're using this for. It's like in a river situation where you can't get away with running planer boards off to the side because there's too much timber, maybe too much boat traffic, you just don't have the room, but you want to utilize all your rods. That's where the stern planer comes in. You set it up, you basically, a stern planer planes back behind the boat, doesn't go off to the side, so it takes your first set of rods, ejects them back with the stern planer, and then you can put your other set of rods directly behind the bottom of the boat. We're going to show you that, exactly how we set that up once we head out to the water.